Phoenix Forgotten is the latest found footage movie that tells the story of three teenagers in the Arizona desert in 1997 that went missing. These events are recounted by a present-day documentary that a relative of one of those missing teenagers is making, and the present day combines with the past as they watch the collection of tapes that one of those teenagers shot in 1997, and we see that footage and we uncover a mystery of how these kids disappeared. Now, the story of this movie revolves around the phenomena of the Phoenix Lights. It was a story that was really big in 97. Some lights appeared over Phoenix, Arizona. Hundreds of people saw them, and it was very well documented. The governor said it was a hoax, but later, after he was out of office, said that it wasn't a hoax, and he has absolutely no idea what it was. So that only catapulted the controversy even more, and there have been so many films about this, and it was definitely something that fascinated me. And sitting down in this theater, I didn't really know what to think, because it's another found footage movie, and right there, I'm kind of rolling my eyes before I even see it, which isn't really a good thing. I try not to go into movies with preconceived notions, but it's tough. I mean, we all have seen and heard what found footage movies can do. For the most part, it's a very long barrage of jump scares and extremely shaky and cheap filmmaking to hopefully make a quick profit. By this point, we know that. The Blair Witch Project was huge, and that was like a big shock to the system for people, and Cannibal Holocaust even before that. But nowadays, we understand the routine with these movies. We know how they're made, and we know it's easy to make money. But the thing that surprised me about the marketing for this was that it was actually executive produced by Ridley Scott and his production company, Scott Free. And so I went into the movie thinking, this could be better than most. And it is. I found this movie surprisingly effective. This film captures what's really important about the whole UFO paranoia conspiracy stuff that shows like the X-Files made extremely popular. And that is the obsession that comes with it if you are a person who feels like they've had some sort of experience. Whenever I've read into these experiences, because conspiracy shit kind of fascinates me, and sometimes I like to do research on my own. Like, for instance, my mom and I back in the day, we actually went to a library and looked through those old microfilm readers and looked at old newspapers dating back all the way to 1947 when the whole Roswell thing happened, all the way up to the Phoenix Lights shit in Arizona. So I've always had a bit of a fascination with this. So full disclosure, I am a little biased. This is a subject that already interested me going in. Of course, this is completely fictional, but what I really did appreciate about this movie is that I honestly couldn't count even one jump scare. This is a film that is essentially a mystery. The first two acts of this movie set up a fairly compelling mystery. You see the past footage from 97 of what happened to these kids before they eventually disappeared, and then we cut back to present day and his sister is combing through this footage and trying to interview people involved with it. So it's less of a jump scare fest and more of a compelling family mystery where you have characters that are simply trying to figure out what happened to their loved ones. And that's something that I think this film captured really well. Beyond just having some kids in the mountains seeing some scary shit, they actually focus more on the family and their trauma with dealing with whatever happened to their kids because no one knows where they are. And that gave the film some emotional weight. Modern day UFO and alien movies, a lot of them suck, and they don't really understand what makes the genre work. It's not just about like a creepy forest or a strange desert or lights in the sky. It's kind of the same thing that made the movie Zodiac work so well for me, beyond all of the things that are so perfect about that movie. I love Zodiac. The thing that made the film really stand out was Jake Gyllenhaal's character and his obsession that he develops with the Zodiac killer, and the fact that pretty much all other things become less important to him. In this movie, the guy who's filming the documentary in the 90s, you can tell that he has that similar obsession that he's developing. Because in the third act of the movie, when you're watching the final tape and you're starting to uncover things, there are all these moments where you're like, dude, you need to get out of there now. But he wants to stay. He just wants 5 more minutes. He just wants a few more minutes to hopefully get that shot that will make him feel right. And even though it's not explored that much in the script, and I could be attributing a lot of this myself, it was actually captured fairly well in the movie, that sense of paranoia that a lot of people felt at that time. A lot of movies that are about aliens or UFO abductions kind of miss that, and they think they just have to show creepy stuff in the sky and maybe an alien walks by a window or something and there's a weird ear-piercing sound effect. The best types of UFO films or TV shows are always about the paranoia and the obsession that comes with it. And this film understands that really well. It also competently recreated 97 fairly well, and the feel of that era with the technology that's used. There's even a school rules and regulations video that you see one of the characters doing that feels exactly like any of those like morning report videos you may have watched in school at the time. There is one glaring error that I noticed though. A character directly references the movie Contact, which did come out in 97, but in July. And the footage in this movie is in March. So they would never have seen it at that point. So that was like, okay, that was really obvious. And one of the characters that disappeared is shown to have owned the X-Files movie on VHS tape, which wasn't even released in theaters until June of 1998, let alone home media, so he never would have owned that tape. That leads me into some of my negatives. I would say the present day footage with the sister recounting the past, I wasn't too invested in that. And that's kind of important, you're supposed to be. And I just kept wanting them to go back to the past footage so I could learn and uncover that mystery. Also, in the found footage segments of the movie, I would say that I heard, "Wait, what is that?" maybe like 15 times. That exact line of dialogue. Wait, what is that? What is that? Is that a light? Is that a UFO? Is that a trailer? Is that a street light? Wait, what is that? Over and over, and it just kind of got old after a while. Surprisingly so, Phoenix Forgotten is a pretty effective found footage movie. It's not excellent. It's not going to blow anyone's minds, but I am disappointed that really no one's talking about this and it's kind of just being thrown into theaters. Again, not an amazing film. Don't go to this expecting like the next Blair Witch Project, but it is a surprisingly investing found footage movie. And unfortunately, I was the only person in the theater, so I feel like a lot of people are probably going to miss this movie for other films this weekend, but if you have an interest in this sort of thing, maybe give it a chance. I'm going to give Phoenix Forgotten a B. Guys, thank you so much as always for watching. I greatly appreciate it. Tonight I'm going to go see Unforgettable, and man, I hope it's unforgettable in the way I'm expecting it to be. Guys, you are the best. Thank you very much for watching. And if you like this, you can click right here and get Stuckmanized.